Donald Trump Jr. clashes with The View. That is the topic of today's op-ed live. So it came out on Fox News today that Donald Trump Jr. appeared on Hannity Thursday night to talk about his wild appearance earlier in the day on ABC's show, The View, saying, "I do not think they like me much anymore." I bet you guys also know The View. It's an ABC program, starts at 9 a.m. I think. I don't watch it that much because I don't get any meat out of it, other than sometimes when some interesting people show up there. I don't think it's a good show, but this is what he said. You know, every once in a while, because Hannity asked him, why did you even show up to that kind of far-left program? And this is what he said. You know, every once in a while, you got to try. You got to try to speak to everyone. Hopefully, they listen. And he also said, in that case, they didn't. Trump's appearance on The View began with co-host Joy Behar. She's a comedian. I never laughed at her jokes, but she is supposedly a comedian. Joy Behar is probably around 75 years old. She rattled off a list of President Trump's mishaps and controversial moments when Trump Jr. reminded the panel that we've all done things we regret. I bet Joy Behar regretted her question to Trump Jr. This is what Trump Jr. said. We've all done things that we regret. Joy, you have worn blackface. And if you Google her, she did wear blackface. She pretended to be a black lady with doing some perm on her hair. Her face was darkened. So she did, you know. And in this day of age, that is considered racist, right? And Trump Jr. also sparred with co-hosts Whoopi Goldberg, Meghan McCain, Abby Huntsman. So Abby Huntsman, she used to be a Fox News host in the morning. I think she was Fox News on the weekends, Fox and Friends program. She was a co-host there. And she sung a different tune there. She sounded a little bit more conservative, a little bit pro-Trump. But since she moved to ABC, it is a bigger network, and ABC, everybody knows, leans a little bit left. It's not as left as like MSNBC or New York Times or CNN, but it's still a pretty lefty broadcasting network, right? So she has changed her tune again, and she sounds very sometimes left, sometimes conservative, but mostly, I would say, more on the left side, left-leaning side, if you hear what she is saying. Even on yesterday's show, on The View, she kept attacking Trump Jr. I don't know why The View host never asked questions like, what do you think about Peter Strzok, Lisa Page, Andy McCabe, James Comey concocting this whole thing and wiretapping, spying on Trump? I don't know why they don't ask those questions. Why do they have to always ask questions attacking Trump or Trump's family? Why is that? It's because they're nothing but a political hack. And you know, Meghan McCain, her father, John McCain, obviously, as you may already know, he didn't have a good relationship with Donald Trump, to say the least, right? And John McCain was also, he played a significant role of that Christopher Steele dossier going around, right, in Congress. So, of course, if I'm Donald Trump, I don't like him either. Who would like John McCain? And many people consider him a rhino. The mainstream media likes John McCain because he lost to Barack Obama back in 2008. That's why they like him. They like losers. The mainstream media, they're nothing but a Democratic extension arm, and they like Republican losers who cave to the Democrats, like John McCain did. Right? That's why they liked him, right? If he would have beaten Barack Obama, the mainstream media would not have treated him well, okay? So this is what Trump Jr. said. You think if you were there to promote a book, they'd ask you one question about the actual book, which they did not. They didn't. And he pointed out he was featured in 3 segments of the show, but they never asked one question regarding the book. That's why he came out on the show. You know, he didn't come out just out of the blue. He came out because he released a book titled Triggered. You know, I highly recommend that book to read for all you viewers out there. So usually there's supposed to be one or two questions. Hey, why did you write this book? What is the content of it? What are the details of it? What are you trying to say with this book? They didn't ask any of those questions, and they just kept attacking over and over again. Donald Trump Jr. He came out with his girlfriend, Kimberly Guilfoyle, by the way. She used to be a Fox News host too, as well. And this is what he said. This is what Trump Jr. said. I wish they would have shown a little bit of the same amount of outrage when my family opened up a white powder substance in an exploding envelope that showed up at my house. These guys are full of it. They didn't ask those. They kept asking, why did you reveal the whistleblower's name? Why did you reveal it? And he didn't reveal it. Trump Jr. didn't reveal it. He just retweeted what was revealed in the Drudge Report and Real Clear Investigations. So he didn't reveal anything. He just retweeted it. And everybody knows Drudge. Drudge Report is like the most powerful aggregator website out there. So, he didn't break anything new regarding this. So it just shows the hypocrisy of the left-wing media. ABC, Meghan McCain, she might be a conservative, but she doesn't like Trump. Abby Huntsman, I don't think she likes Trump either. So there you go. It was 4 against 1. So Whoopi Goldberg was triggered. Donald Trump Jr. reminded the co-hosts of The View on Thursday of some of their regrettable actions of the past, including Whoopi Goldberg's defense of a convicted child rapist, Roman Polanski. Okay? And you can hear, if you watch the video, you can even hear Joy Behar saying to her co-host, hey, when Trump Jr. comes in, don't even say his name. Can you believe this? This is what Trump Jr. said to Joy. We've all done things we regret. If we are talking about bringing discourse down, Joy, you've worn blackface, like I already told you that. And Whoopi, you said that Roman Polanski, it wasn't rape when he raped a child. And they were both triggered. They were really angry. And it was like a shouting match. But it shows the hypocrisy of the media, like ABC, NBC, CBS, CNN, NYT, WAPO, these papers and networks. They're working like a Democratic campaign machine. Look at the articles. Look at New York Times, Washington Post today, and watch CNN. Their front pages, it's always attacking Trump, demeaning Trump. If you watch CNN or MSNBC right now, of course the narrative is going to be, everything negative about Trump, right? So people need to know that the media is biased. They are definitely not down the middle. It's not like that. So Trump claims this impeachment thing is making him stronger and stronger and stronger. And he criticized the whistleblower, that he's nothing but a political hack who has been working for John Brennan. And who else did he work for? He worked for the Obama administration, right? He said the whistleblower is a disgrace to our country. He was talking outside the White House to reporters. And he said, he went on to declare the whistleblower's lawyer, who is Mark Zaid, he should be sued and maybe sued for treason, okay? Because you all know what he said, right? Mark Zaid, he said there should be a coup against Trump, right? There should be a coup d'etat. That back in 2017, he tweeted this. He tweeted a lot. He tweeted a lot of things. And he said, we need to get rid of Trump. This is what, among the tweets that he said. It's just crazy. How can you even tweet these things? I just don't understand. This was back in 2017. He said, this is a coup. We need to bring down Trump. And CNN will help us. Pretty much that, in a nutshell, that's what he's saying. So the mainstream media, we call it the legacy media. And I believe 7 out of 10 Americans don't believe it anymore because of all the lies that they have been spewing out there since the day Trump became president. And it's true. Washington Post came out after a couple of hours after Trump won the election. They said the coup is going to start. So it's tragic. Many people out there, they don't know whether New York Times is a left-wing paper or the Washington Post is a left-wing paper, or they don't even know whether CNN and MSNBC leans left at all. Many people don't. The people who know knows, but many people still don't. So that's why I'm doing this show, because there's so many people who don't know these political news, low info. There's a lot of low info people. People are not, probably they're just not into politics. They get tired of it. So when they think about New York Times or Washington Post, they think it's down the middle, correct paper. But it is definitely not like that. Okay, let's check out some news headlines and Twitter feeds. So Trump tweeted this: "The radical left Dems and mainstream media are just trying to make it hard for Republicans and me to win in 2020. The new impeachment hoax is already turning against them." Let's move on. So Bill Grant tweeted this: "ABC News spiking of Epstein story draws scrutiny toward Clinton ally George Stephanopoulos." Look at that. On the left, you see Jeffrey Epstein. On the middle, you see George Stephanopoulos. And on the right, you see Bill Clinton. George Stephanopoulos used to work in the Clinton campaign back in the 90s. Okay? He works for ABC News, but I don't see him as a journalist. He is a very left-leaning guy, always protective of President Clinton. That is why ABC News spiked the Epstein story, because I think it was George Stephanopoulos who pressured, Amy Robach when she could have broke the news. She said she got the news 3 years ago. She was tipped off. 3 years ago, she did all the interviews. She did the interview with the lady named Virginia Roberts. Virginia Roberts claimed that she had sex when she was a minor, when she was 17 years old, that she had sex with Jeffrey Epstein. And I think she also claimed that she had sex with Alan Dershowitz. That one I got to check out, but Alan Dershowitz's name was also there. But she definitely said that she had sex with Epstein, and now she's telling the world all about this. But where's the mainstream media on this one? They're trying to, they do report about Jeffrey Epstein, but it's just headlines for like a couple of days, like 2-3 days, and they want to just make it disappear so that people don't keep on thinking about this. This is what the New York Times and Washington Post do, and CNN. These important news, they would just cover it probably 2-3 days max. But conspiracy theories like the Trump-Russia collusion, they would report it 24/7, all the time. Front page, page after page, on a daily basis. It's crazy. That's why we have to find out the truth and let you know, and let you get the correct news. I'm doing this show so that all of you can get correct news, not real news, not fake news, that what the NYT and WAPO and CNN is spreading out there. Okay, let's move on to the next page. Okay, this week I got to meet one of my heroes, Daniel D. Souza. Gill tweeted this. And she continues, "It is not often that you get to shake hands with someone who has impacted you so greatly. I was a student in college when Trump won the 2016 election. I was mocked and ridiculed by my classmates for being a Republican." Let's move on to the next page. Okay, Jordan Sather tweeted this. "Yo, Lisa Mae Crowley." He's tweeting this to Lisa Mae Crowley. Mae Crowley tweeted this. "Tucker Carlson just asked Judge Jeanine how Epstein got so wealthy and if he was employed by a foreign government." That is yet to be seen. Let's move on to the next page. Okay, media. This is from Breitbart. "Media protected Clinton pals Jeffrey Epstein and Harvey Weinstein." Harvey Weinstein, he was also big, great buddies with Meryl Streep, Clinton, Hillary Clinton, Obama, Now they're pretending that they don't know each other and the media doesn't cover about their relationship. If it was Trump, they would cover it every day. Okay? Every day. Let's move on to the next page. Whistleblower attorney Mark Zaid tweeted, coup has started. I already told you that. Let's move on to the next page. Okay, Donald Trump's approval rating came out today from Rasmussen, and look at the numbers. It's 50%. Even with all the mainstream media attacking him, there are still many Americans who do not believe the mainstream media, which is a good thing, a positive thing. And I applaud the Americans who don't get deceived by the mainstream media. The New York Times, Washington Post, these papers, CNN. Okay, let's move on. It was just explained to me that for next week's fake hearing in the House, as they interview never-Trumpers and others, I get no lawyer and no due process. It is a Pelosi Schiff scam against the Republican Party and me. This witch hunt should not be allowed to proceed. So Trump people, the White House decided not to accept any kind of subpoenas. Good job, Trump. But let's move on. The degenerate Washington Post made up the story about me asking Bill Barr to hold a news conference. Never happened, and there were no sources. Let's move on. Look at the rallies. Look at this. I don't think Obama or Clinton had that many people in a rally. Probably Obama did every once in a while, but not as much as Trump. Okay, Trump tweeted this, just returned to the White House after a great evening in Monroe, Louisiana, with a massive turnout of great American patriots. With early voting underway until Saturday, find your polling location below and go vote for your next governors, because there's an election on the 18th, right? And the current governor, I believe, is a Democrat, and there's a businessman who's running against him who's a Republican. So I think, the voters would vote the right way this time. Okay, let's move on. Trump, there was an election in Kentucky, Mississippi, right, and New Jersey. Trump tweeted this, a great evening last night in Kentucky and Mississippi for the Republican Party with 13 big wins, including a governorship in Mississippi. Congratulations to everyone. Look at that. So governor, the Democrat won, okay? And it's not like a really odd thing. For Kentucky is a red state, but just because you're a red state doesn't mean that they always 100% vote for Republicans, okay? If you look at Kentucky's history, there were like consecutive Democrat governors, like throughout the 90s and 2000s. So it's not an odd thing. And the current governor, he was not that popular. If you look at him, he had the lowest approval rating among all 50 governors in America. So that pretty much says everything, right? So he lost, but all the other down ballots, they won. Secretary of State, Michael Adams, right? And Attorney General, Daniel Cameron. By the way, Daniel Cameron, he became the first black Attorney General in Kentucky. And he got more votes than the current Governor Bivens, right? And auditor, Republican hold, treasurer, agriculture commissioner, governor, and in Mississippi, governor, lieutenant governor, attorney general, secretary of state, auditor, treasurer, agriculture commissioner, insurance commissioner. All Republicans won, on that one. So it was not a big loss on Trump's side. If you watch the mainstream media, it seems like, oh, Trump is losing. He's going to lose the 2020 election. It is not like that, okay? You can't say just because you lost a seat on the governor's side that you lost the whole thing, okay? And Virginia, the Democrats won the whole thing. That was the first time in 26 years. It's not it's not great news for Trump, but Virginia was leaning left anyway. Trump did not win in Virginia back in 2016, so it was not a huge loss to Trump. The Republicans did pretty okay on last Tuesday, okay? Let's move on to the next page. Charlie Kirk, election fraud is real. A California DMV is being audited in Fresno right now for mishandling voter registration info for 23,000 drivers, double registering 77,000 others. Can you believe this? Mishandling voter registration info for 23,000 and double registering 77,000? I always knew something fishy was going on with this DMV thing. Okay, so that's why Trump has been claiming so many illegal immigrants has been voting too. because they got a driver's license. Issuing voter registration to 16-year-olds, changing party registration without voter approval. Outrage. Okay, let's move on to the next page. Larry Elder tweeted this. Remember James Carville? An aide for Bill Clinton back in the day? I think the year is kind of funny there, but it's the economy, stupid. That's how Bill Clinton got elected and re-elected, right? So over 1.2 million new jobs have been created for blacks, and the poverty rate among blacks is at its lowest level in history. So let's talk systematic racism and white privilege. This is all Trump derangement syndrome, which means Trump has done marvelous job for the black and the Hispanic community, the minority community, okay? And he's been pretty popular among the Korean community as well. He had a 40% approval rating there, despite all the negative media coverage. Let's move on to the next page. Okay, Chuck Calisto tweeted this. This is not a MAGA rally. Joy Behar snaps at audience after they clap for Don Jr. and Guilfoyle. So if you check out this video clip by The View, you know, the audience, I thought they would be probably all left-leaning and Democrats, but they were all applauding him. I did hear a couple of boos, but the majority of the crowd was rooting for Trump Jr. And then Behar snapped at the audience after they clapped for Don Jr. and Guilfoyle. Raise your hand if you think The View has become an anti-Trump propaganda machine. Okay, well, that's our show for today. Our show is not about left or right, it's about right or wrong. To stay up to date with our latest videos, make sure to subscribe to this YouTube channel by clicking subscribe. Thanks for tuning in.